Good evening. Welcome to Pathway to Success. I'm your host, Dr. Michael Hunter. And sitting to my right is Miss Sandra Stringer, the beautiful Miss Sandra Stringer, entrepreneur, very vibrant, full of humor. I was laughing offset before we got on, and one who has a very inspirational story today. She's the president and CEO of Grassroots Consulting, Inc., which is a holistic business consulting firm that provides services for business startups, for profit and non-profit sector also. Completion of minority and vendor registration, that's very powerful. State and federal filings, that's what she does, right?
Yeah.
Sandra is known also as the train conductor. I've never been on a train here in the United States of America. I don't know if when I get on, I see her there, but it's in another form. She's known as the train conductor trainer. And most recently, I've been referred to as the business midwife. Our accomplishment has been so amazing. She has a AS degree in business management. She has a BS in organizational management, and she has a master's degree in nonprofit management. She's also a certified proctor and instructor for Serve Safe, and she holds a food protection manager certification, which I'd ask her if she stand around with a weapon protecting the food, but she told me no. She kind of made it clear to me. She's also a licensed notary, and she's a certified life coach. November 2019, Sandra opened a unique business called Working Space, called the Inspirational Station Creative Solution. And her motto for life: if I can help someone along the way, then my living is not in vain.
Yes.
Sandra, welcome to Pathway
Thank you.
to Success.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh my word, what an inspiration you have been to this community and so many others. Tell us some more. Tell us a little bit about yourself. What it was like growing up as a child.
Wow. You hit just cause you don't give no you don't ease nothing on you. That's just like go straight to it. So actually who I am today is a definitely product of what God can do for broken pieces. You asked about my childhood, which was not a good childhood. And that's why I said you really don't know who you're talking to. With regardless of how my family feel of how I disclose my childhood. At 4, my mom gave me to my dad with my brother, and then my dad took us to Mississippi. So part of my work ethics and hard work was not developed in Florida; it was developed in Mississippi, and that came from picking peas and butter beans and chopping cotton and picking cotton all day for $1. From 6 o'clock in the morning till 6 o'clock in the evening, I picked cotton and made one George Washington crisp $1 bill.
You said from 6 a.m. to
6
6 p.m.
p.m. at the age of 12 in 1982. So that's telling my age. I am proud and grateful that I lived to see 51. But yeah, that's what happened.
For $1.
$1.
Right here in the United States of America?
Right here in the United States of America. In Lamar, Mississippi.
Wow.
Yes, in 1982. And that's not that long ago.
So from that, where did you get your inspiration to achieve
So
such great
that
success
day,
today?
that day, I realized, listen, I am not. This is not who I am. And my grandmother and my aunt raised me, but I think I would like to give more kudos to my late aunt who passed 4 years ago, and she was an educator. And when I first came to Mississippi, I'll never ever forget it. And I was asking about one of our cousins because in the country, everybody lives on the same land and you go from one house to the next or what have you. And I asked about one of my cousins and I said, where is so and so at? And she hit me in the back. She was like, don't you ever end a sentence with a preposition. I'm like, well, what is a preposition? And she said, at was a preposition, which it is. And so from that day, she just taught us about education, the love of reading and knowing. And even if you grew up without certain resources that everyone else had, you didn't have to look like where you lived.
Right.
And you always dressed where you were going. And so from that day to this, it has just shaped the person that I am today.
So I'm from picking cottons
Yeah,
and
the
butter
white
beans
cotton, yes.
from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Hmm.
has literally motivated you. Recognize that this is not all to life.
That's right.
You
That's
recognize
right.
that I have greatness on the inside,
That's right.
and you
Hmm.
decide to step out
Yes.
and
Yes.
achieve that greatness.
Yes.
Who was
Yes.
your role model while growing up, Sandra?
Well, my aunt, yeah, she was my role model growing up because she had 6 kids of her own, and then she helped foster myself and my brother, more so me than my older brother. And it was a village. It was she was a central director for a Head Start, Marshall County Head Start, where she was there for 50 years, and it was her and her friends. And even though I felt less than, because when you went to school, everybody had a mom and a dad, and you couldn't tell people where your mom or your dad was. They always told me, you're pretty, you're beautiful, you're smart. Like those things that we see on the movies,
Right,
that's what I lived.
right,
And
right.
they poured into me, and they just let me know that one day I was going to be great. I didn't see it, and I definitely didn't feel it. But just over time, and that's why words are so important.
Mhm.
What we speak out of our mouth, what we declare, what we decree in the atmosphere, because those things is really what manifests. And them just speaking over me, even when I didn't feel it, even when I didn't see it, it was seeds that were sown in me. And then at 16, I moved back to Florida,
Mhm.
stayed with my dad and my stepmom, and just did what I knew how to do. And that was just work, And then, family dynamics will have it and things happen. But I never, ever forgot those seeds that were sown. I never, ever forgot that I was told that I was going to be great, that I am somebody, I'm beautiful, I'm smart, I'm intelligent. And from those seeds just playing over in my head, from playing, overriding the bad things that were told to me, I just, every day I got up, I knew I had to strive to be that person.
Wow. So from the cotton fields, right?
Yeah.
Then back to West. Which high school you went to, and because this is such an inspirational story. It's not how you start; it's how you finish.
Yes, yes, yes,
Because
yes.
you started picking cottons at a young age from
12.
12 age of 12,
Yeah,
right?
it was a secret.
From 6 a.m. to 6 p.m.
Yes.
And but when you look on your academic achievements,
Hmm.
it's mind blowing. An AS degree in business management, a BS in organizational business,
Hmm.
also a master degree in nonprofit management. You're a
Hmm.
certified proctor, instructor, and all these things. And you're also a licensed notary,
Yes.
and you hold a protection management certification.
Hmm.
Tell us, when you relocated to Florida at 16, which school did you end up into? And
Yeah, that was weird.
mhm.
So, with the school that I went to in Mississippi, first through 12th grade went to the same school.
Oh,
Our graduating class was like 40 some people.
right.
And then to come to Twin Lakes, where you have thousands of students, it was like, okay, where am I? What am I doing? Why did I do this? And I actually left a national title in Mississippi coming back to Florida. I was elected the Northern District Representative for the National Honor Society in Mississippi. But
Congratulations.
at 16, when life is, giving you an example of, do you run away from this hard life that you've known for 12 years and go back and try to, find happiness somewhere? I didn't think about it at the time. And my friends were upset with me. The staff was upset with me at the school because I put us on the map.
Yeah.
And to walk away from that, it was a big letdown. And now, at 51, I don't think I would have made that decision. But it was a flight or fight kind of a thing. My brother was moving away to go to college, and he was like my anchor. And I was like, man, I'm out of here. I'm going back to Florida. And I made that decision. But it's just been one faith move after another. It's been one situation after another that I knew that I had purpose. And from that, I just migrated day by day. And I still do it. Every day I'm getting up, I'm telling myself, you can be better than what you was the day before.
So repetitiveness is very important to
Yes.
inspire oneself.
Mm-hmm.
No matter where you're coming from,
Yes.
you keep on repeating that you're a winner.
Yes. Oh,
You're the
yes.
best there is, and there's
Yes.
no one else like you.
Yes.
You will
Yes.
always achieve. That
Absolutely.
greatness is upon your life.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I know you shared some of the challenges that you have been through in terms of
Mm-hmm.
working from such a young age.
Mm-hmm.
Any other challenges that you had
Ooh,
to overcome
you just
to
don't
get to where
y'all
you are? That's why we
no.
have you on Pathway to Success. We want to hear. We want to
Wow.
hear.
So,
We want to.
wow. So, one of the things as to why most people think I just like giving, helping people, and a lot of people think I'm rich, which I'm not yet. I have not got that 4.5 million yet, but it's coming. It's coming. I can feel it. But fast forward from 19 to 26, I lost my biological mother. I was reconnected her when I moved back down here at the age of 16, but through life challenges or whatever. I lost her at 26, and I actually was pregnant at the time. And I had my daughter, and I was, wasn't living with my parents at that time because by that time at 19, I moved out from, family dynamics and just whatever. And I found myself having to make a decision. I was living in a duplex, and the people were from Jamaica, and they were
Wow.
actually moving back to Jamaica because the husband had some medical issues. And they offered me to sell the duplex to me, but I couldn't afford it. So I had to make a decision whether I was going to keep my car because I had two jobs with an 8-month-old daughter, or try to stay there and find a way to buy this property that I knew I couldn't afford. So it's not something I'm proud of because in 2021, if someone had found me sleeping in my car, they would say I was a bad parent.
Right.
But so I found myself sleeping at the old Palm Beach Mall with my 8-month-old daughter. So that's considered homeless.
Right.
And that went on for a few days until someone heard me say that I was a family friend. I told her I had to hurry up and get to the restaurant so I can go to the bathroom and all that stuff because I had to go sleep in the car. And she was like, "You do know that you can go to jail." I'm like, "Well, this is my plight right now. I'm doing the best I can." And she gave me a room to stay with her and with my daughter and allowed me the opportunity to get on my feet somewhat. And it was that day that I made God a promise that because someone helped me, I will live my life for the rest of my days helping someone else. And so from homelessness till just Friday, I just sold my house that I stayed in for 20 years, which I sold it to start doing investments to build homes for other single parents, women or men. And so that's a 3 to 5 year goal I have. And so when you talk about challenges, I've been through them. But every step of the way, I came out on top. It didn't feel good. It definitely didn't seem fair,
Yeah.
but God has been faithful.
And you come on with a smile. From you came on set, you have been just smiling, smiling the whole time. What great joy for someone who have been through so many challenges. But look at you now.
Yeah.
Share with us, what are some of the challenges have you used to market and build yourself as a
Mm.
successful business owner today?
Whew. Well, one of the things I tell people when the things that you want to do, make sure it's your purpose. Make sure it's your life journey. I was sharing with someone this, it was yesterday, I think it was. I was working, of course, always worked. And in May 28, 2010, I was going through separation. I've been separated from my ex husband now, is my ex husband, for a year. I was getting ready to go on vacation. Literally, I was going on
Let us
vacation.
say hello to him.
And God was like, "You need to resign." I'm thinking, like, are you kidding me? These people owe me 1 year worth of pay. 1 week. I'm going on vacation. I'm gonna come back, finish my master's degree, then I'm gonna resign. And he was like, "Nope, you're gonna do it today." And I'm thinking, like, this is not funny. I just bought a truck 5 months ago. This man has been out of his house for a year. My daughter's getting ready to go to high school. So why would I be quitting? No money in the bank account, no 401k, no savings, no nothing. I quit May 28, 2010, and I never looked back. And every step of the way, I still worked out of my home, still worked at the church doing the nonprofit there. And 2013, I got my insurance license. And from there, I went into a commercial setting and just have built every day. And so if I had to tell anyone to do anything, make sure you feel fulfilling your purpose. Because when you're fulfilling your purpose, when things get hard, you still stay the course. You're not doing it for the money. You're not doing it for the latest fad. You're doing it because you've been called to do it. And so in the rough places, you're able to stand the test of time and come out and overcome and victorious every time.
Wow. Wow, that's inspirational.
Yeah.
The inspirational, unselfish
Yeah.
Sandra Stringer right here on Pathway to Success. We're going to take a short break and we're going to come back to hear some more inspiration from this great woman that is sitting up next to me.
Well, we've talked a lot about real estate growth in South Florida. The flex office space sector is also booming.
In fact, a report from Commercial Real Estate Services is finding 86% of companies out there plan to use flex space as a strong alternative to those traditional leases. For more than 100 Black business owners and nonprofit CEOs, it goes beyond the walls, really. Flex space on Blessed Boulevard is a village.
WPTV News Channel 5's Arthur Mondale shows you how it is rebuilding Black wealth.
We call this the growth environment.
Paula Brothers, co-owner of Cakes Etc., isn't talking recipes at this hour. She's got paperwork to fax out and contracts to add up.
I would like 10 more contracts by January of 22.
In the next suite,
This is we call this administrative space.
and down the hall in another.
The only thing you guys need to be thinking about is what is your goal and how you're going to get there to accomplish it.
AV preeminent rated attorney Michael Pike is talking law and career aspirations with a group of soon-to-be taxpayers.
It's great to dream, right? But at some point in time, you're going to realize you're better at something than you are at another thing.
Michael knows the importance of early intervention.
Success is rented. And the reason it's rented is because it needs to be repeated.
We have to be our own community stimulus package.
And it's the same type of intervention and package Shandra Stringer provides at Inspiration Station and its subsidiary, Blessed Boulevard.
It's a holistic business service center from beginning to end, from marketing to website building to graphic design.
Stringer, who has decades of experience in consulting, both in the for-profit and nonprofit sectors, says she's doing her part to restore Black wealth.
Doing extra charges on business loans where they were not affordable, so they could not borrow money to utilize their business to grow.
Stringer is referring to policies and practices that economic scholars have done a lot of research looking at.
It's just the truth.
This Brookings report shows just how large the gap is. Black codes during the Jim Crow era between 1880 to the 1960s limited opportunities for Black advancement in the South, and Black Wall Streets were burned or chased out. The review of Black political economy shows by the 1960s, Blacks were given 3.6% of government bonds, farm and business equity.
And the gap just kept widening and widening and widening.
The numbers show it's widened, but attitudes in some Black communities have also spread.
Our biggest hurt is collaboration.
And Stringer says that's part of the reason some Black businesses fail, the lack of social capital.
Is stressful. It is unfair. A lot of things happen that we cannot control. And so when we make it, we're afraid to share with somebody else because it took us so long to get there.
Blessed Boulevard has also launched the mobile enterprise of Sherwin Foster.
This is not capitalistic, this is communal.
He's also crossing state lines.
It has grown tremendously. Now we're doing online ordering.
From every spectrum of a business operation, they've come through these doors.
Hashtag the village.
And no milestone goes unrecognized in this village. In addition to a weekly marketplace,
It's pretty much an investment in us. It's almost like family coming together in the backyard.
there's also community involvement and recognition. Rapper Kitty London received the Trailblazer Award for her contributions locally and internationally.
Anyone can own a business, but we don't know how to run a business unless we properly go through the right channels. And Blessed Boulevard gives you that knowledge.
Take it and run with it.
Now, Stringer calls herself the business midwife, who's going to, quote, die empty. She's committed to using the space to make up for lost opportunities and time. Arthur Mondale, WPTV News Channel 5.
Researchers from Brookings Institute say early intervention is really key to rebuilding Black wealth. To date, Blessed Boulevard has helped the momentum of over 150 businesses and nonprofits that are all sustainable and growing now. If you'd like to learn more about the village, just visit our website, WPTV.com.
Are you looking to advertise your business? Look no further. Pathways to Success is offering 3 30-second slots each Sunday of the month for $100. Please contact 561-331-1524 for all inquiries.
Yes. Welcome to Pathway to Success. I'm your host, Dr. Michael Hunter, and we're sitting right here with the inspirational Shandra Stringer, an entrepreneur, one who worked in the cotton fields at the age of 12, from 6 a.m. to 6 p.m. for $1 a day. That really touched my heart. But today, she has a success story. And today we want to showcase this to you. It's not the way how you start, it's where you finish. Another thing that I want to say is this: believe in yourself. When others doubt you, that should motivate you the more to prove to them that they can't stop you and that you're unstoppable. And I'm sitting right here before this woman that is unstoppable. You are a winner and you are a motivator. There's a question I wanted to ask you, because what really moved me also, touched my heart strongly, is that you sold your home, and now you're putting together. You're going to use that money to start is it a housing development?
Yes.
Or,
So let's talk about the home first, because this is
let's go into that.
It's a miracle in itself. I was at that time, before I moved, I've been in Riviera Beach a resident for 20 years, and before that I was living on Military Trail military and military and so it was military in Haverhill, in that area, and southern and military. Right. And so the airport was doing eminent domain. And so my landlord at the time made sure that we were, I was a part of the eminent domain relocation process. So I got to the Riviera Beach. That house I had was an abandoned home. And I wish I would have remembered to bring photos. So that home was abandoned. And my church family knew I needed somewhere to stay. So one of the ladies at the church, told me, there's a place over there. You can go. I don't know how's it going to work out for you. And so what we did was the church got together, rallied around, and I got pictures to prove it. They gutted the entire house. Wow. Because it was abandoned for 2 years. And so from the bathroom to the cabinets to every single part, only thing was the walls and the roof. And that was it. And so my pastor, shout out to Bishop Randy Hightower and all of the leadership there, and members, they just came and we just gutted the whole house out and they put it back together. They took one room and did all of that. So I lived there for 20 years with my family, the last 11 just myself. And so going through a divorce, that's why I want to make sure I tell people, God hates divorce. I'm not one of those people that, if it don't work out, just leave. No, it's not that kind of a party. But I did my best to stay in my house because I loved that home. I knew it was given to me. And we had a mortgage at the time because it take out a mortgage to, bring it up to code and all of those things. Once I went from renting to owning it. And so from that process, I was working before I left the work industry. One of the things I was doing was running the first time home buyer. So I understood about foreclosure. I understood about modification and all those kinds of things. I was trying to get a modification on the mortgage because I left the work industry. I'm working strictly for myself. And it was like, oh, things are getting slim here. So let me try to get a modification. Well, lo and behold, I tried from the time that I left, which was in May, I started the modification process the beginning of January 2011, because you had to be behind in order to do a modification, which is crazy, but that was the process. Anyway, long story short, I went through the process, calling. They never did anything, whatever. And finally, what ended up happening was I called one day, I'll never forget it. And I said, well, you know what? I'm going to sell the home. I'm going to move to Maryland, because Maryland is like where all the happenings happening. We're very prominent there. Yeah, African American people are very prominent in Maryland, Virginia, and DC. They call it the DMV area. Right. Yes, very prominent. And so I was destined. I was determined. So I was flying out once a month because I knew I had to get a college stabilized for my daughter, and I knew I wanted to relocate to start afresh. And that went on for a whole year. And I finally told God, I said, listen, if I don't get this last job, then it meant not for me to leave Florida. So I will stay. I said, I'm not going to be happy, but I'll stay. Because obviously you have work for me to do here. And I'll never forget it. July 5th, 2012, I called Wells Fargo and I said, hey, we're getting close to time. I know after a year, you guys going to, start doing foreclosure paperwork. Please, just let me modify. I need this modification. And I'll never forget it. She says, Miss Stringer, we're not going to modify your home. I'm thinking like, oh God. And I'm like, oh, this is it right here. She says, we're going to charge your mortgage off. And now I work in the industry, so I know what charge off means. Charge off means you don't owe that money. That means they're going to take a loss. So I said, okay, she's playing. All right, it's Friday. I pulled over to the side of the road. I called her back. 1-800 number got the same person. I said, hi, this is Miss Stringer again. So you just told me you charged my mortgage off, and I know what that means, but I think you may have missed it. She was like, no. She says, if you moved out of your home, move back in it. And if you're still in your home, stay there because you're going to receive a release of mortgage. We are writing off $86,400. You will not have to pay that. I hung up the phone again because I'm like, this lady playing with me. Ain't nobody charging no 86. We're in a crisis right now. I called the number back again the third time, 1-800 number. I got the same person. She's Miss Stringer. I know it's hard to believe, but I promise you, this is not a gimmick. It's not a joke. All you're gonna have to do is you're gonna receive a notification from your tax collector department from your local county government, and depending on if the tax laws are the same, will determine if you have to carry that as income or not. Which I do taxes, so I know what that meant. So July 5th, 2011, July 4th, I went to bed owing $86,000. July 5th, 2012, I woke up released of debt of 86,400.
Wow.
That's a God thing.
That's a miracle.
So fast forward to my house. So really and truthfully, I had no reason to sell my home because I was paying $100 a month for mortgage because I had a line of credit that I was given. And then mind you, it's a small home. Now let me be clear about that. It wasn't even 900 square feet, but it was a small home, and we lived in it. The whole family lived in it, and I lived in it for myself for the last 11 years. But it's for me to purchase a new home, but in that new home, actually to create additional income, so I can have money to put aside for the next 1 to 3 years to build on the 6 other homes. So that's why I sold my home.
And where are you doing this project? This?
I don't know yet. I have an investor that is very close with me. We've been kicking around some ideas because we have to buy the land. It's going to be 2 ways. Either it's going to be purchasing 6 homes that's already built, or purchasing land to build them. And it's a 3 to 5 year project, but I had to start somewhere. So that's why I sold my home.
Oh wow, you are a woman of great inspiration and one of great compassion. You wear many hats. How do you find time to balance your personal life?
Oh, I find time. That is the $1 million question I get asked. First of all, I tell people all the time, and that's why you're making sure that you walk in your purpose. When you walk in your purpose, it's not work. So when I turn the key into that office, other than my phone, I'm not working. I'm doing what I love doing. I am called to birth people's dreams.
Yeah.
That's what I'm called to do. So it's not work to me.
Business midwife.
Yeah, I will never retire. I may not work as many hours, but I will never retire. No, I have no reason to. And so, so I take naps in the middle of the day. If I get tired, I will tell team members, hey, I'll be back. I'll go home and take a nap. Like 2-3 hour nap, like it ain't nothing. In the middle of the day, if I don't have any appointments, I will take a nap. And then I take vacations, but I don't take vacations. I work and I just take vacation while I'm working.
Okay, I see.
And I absolutely love downtime. Walking is my newfound pleasure. Like depending on what time I finish my evening, if the park is still open, I'll go home, change clothes, go to the park and walk. So I have plenty of me time. People don't think so because they're always seeing me on Facebook. I'm like, there are plenty hours in between what you see on Facebook. Yeah, so I get it in. Get it in. Yes. Mm-hmm.
And how long did it take you to gain this success today?
Oh man, I'd say a lifetime. Because who you are really didn't start where you are now. It started when with that 4-year-old girl. You know what I'm saying? And I tell people that, and people don't wake up in the morning and say, you know what, I just want to be mean. Well, some of them do, but I want to wreck my life, So you're built and you're formed, from birth, and you just, you're developed over time. And on paper, Grassroots Consulting has been around 15 years. This last October, So we've celebrated 15 years of being in business, strictly on referrals. Strictly on referrals. Yeah, so that must mean I have to be doing something right, right?
Yeah, you're doing great. You're doing great.
And in the nonprofit industry, I've been in, if you count churches, feel like all my life, but if you have to do the legal way, it'll be about 20 plus years. I've been in the nonprofit industry.
Yes. That's church, right?
Yeah. Well, if it's church, it's all my life. Because even in the Baptist, we're doing the Baptist Training Union and Sunday School and BTU and all of that.
Well, you're a Baptist?
I grew up Baptist.
Wow.
Then I was Pentecostal I was in the Pentecostal movement like 20 some years. And now I'm just like, I call it what I tell people. Virtual movement, but also I call it, I like to say the unusual church.
The unusual.
And the reason why I say that, because everything we do is ministry. Mm-hmm. We, as the structured body of believers, we like to feel like, we don't have the title of minister and this and this and this. No. When you're walking along someone, you telling them good morning. Mm-hmm. That's ministry.
That's ministry.
You see what I'm saying? So yeah, and we gotta reprogram ourselves that people are hurting. Yeah. People need answers. They're feeling hopeless, and you just saying hello or good morning or buying them a cup of coffee or giving them $1, that could be the difference maker of them going and jumping off a bridge.
It's true. That's true.
And when you've been in a dark place, and that's what I was talking about when we were off air, I've had my 2 years of darkness where I was angry with God. Well, I told God he was unfair. I told him he could have let me be adopted. I told him he could have worked it out that I didn't have to always financially struggle. And so I told him, so until I feel like I'm ready to come back and be a daughter, I'm going to do my thing. And so from 2018, July roundabout till October of 2020. And so when I tell people, and I laugh and I smile now, if you've never been in a mental battle, you wouldn't understand it. But when you've been in a mental battle, you know that you've been called, but you're angry, you're upset. Just like a child pouting. You don't want to hear what your daddy got to say because you're mad at them. Right. Because they didn't do things the way you thought it should have been done. And when you get to that place of freedom, man, you'll write people off. You will write people off. You'll be like, go in the corner because my peace is too important to me. Because I knew what not being in peace felt like. Yeah. And so when you get to that place of freedom, that's why I tell people, I'm going to take 5,000 pictures a day if I want to. Because you weren't there when I was crying in the midnight, when I couldn't see my way out, when I didn't know if I was going to make it to the next day. You were not there. And so if me taking pictures and me smiling for real and being happy for real offends you, sorry, Nara.
Hope there's not a Nara watching here. We can't afford to
Yeah.
Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
Ooh, you just keep putting it in the gut.
Where are you?
Serving in a greater purpose to the public. Serving in a greater purpose. I do what I do every day. I think I'm at a plateau in my life where I need to stop hiding so much. One of my friends
said, you're not hiding. You're on Facebook almost 500 times a day. You're not hiding.
But a lot of people are not on Facebook.
Well, that's true.
But a lot of people are not on Facebook. And one person asked me, they said, can you send me a picture of you doing your outreach? I'm thinking like, I don't have any pictures. The most I take if I'm doing unloading the truck, because we do a big bulk truck from Cheney Brothers, but you got to do Wednesday. So I'm gonna need some help. Oh. But yeah, so I do it, but I do it sort of kind of incognito, so to speak. So I am really revisiting how what level of frontline work I'm doing in the community. That's where I see myself in the next 5 years.
Wow, that's good. That's good. And I want to look in the camera. What advice would you give those? I want to look in the camera and give them today. What advice would you give to those who desire to become a success? Because what advice? Because I'm sure along the way, this path to success, you've mentioned it right here on the program. You've been through many obstacles. You've been through some real frustrating times. You've been through homelessness. You find yourself in a place at one time you were literally depressed and upset with the Creator.
Yeah.
And but what advice would you give those? Because so many people are watching you right now, Sandra. How will you motivate them? What advice can you give them? Because there must be someone that's watching right now that is going through maybe what you have been through before. What advice can you give onto that today?
Ooh, the first thing is you got to have faith. You got to have faith, and it's going to be a crazy faith, because sometimes when you want to do something, or you think things that something that you feel like you've been called to do, it's not going to make sense to people. It doesn't make sense to you sometimes. And I tell people, if God tell you something and it makes sense, that ain't God, honey, because nothing God does makes sense to the natural person. It doesn't. He defies all odds of every single thing. So you got to have faith. You have to have a prayer life. Without those two things, you cannot do it. And then you have to be okay with not people validating who you are. You have to know who you are. One of the things
you said something which is so profound. You have to be okay with people not validating who you are.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
I like that.
Yeah, you have to be.
Yeah.
Man, let me tell you something. People, if I had to wait on people to say, "Oh, go ahead on, that's good," they'll say it, but they're not going to give a dime. They're not going to give a lending ear when you're frustrated and you're running against the obstacles. None of those things. So you got to know who you are. You got to know that you've been called to do this. In the midst of homelessness, I emptied my bank account out 3 different times to build for the community. The Inspiration Station. I was just getting ready to be in a comfortable place, and the Lord said, "Open this business up for the village." I'm thinking, like, no, I don't want to.
So you have a station by the name of Inspiration.
The Inspiration Station Creative Solutions. It's a co-working space that was shown on the commercial break. It's a co-working space for the village. I have office space next door. I have no reason to have that space. For me, it's for the village. It's for the village. And so you got to be okay. You got to have prayer, faith. You can't worry about people not validating you. And when God tells you to do something, you got to do it, even when you don't even understand it. Because once He guides you to a situation, to a journey, He's obligated to make provision. He is obligated. And so hold on to that and get around people that are winners, not complainers and whiners.
I like that.
Get around people that are winners. And let me tell you this, and I'm gonna end with this. Know that success cannot be bought on the clearance rack at Walmart.
I like that. I like that.
It's a journey.
Yeah.
And you got to continue every single day, even when you don't feel like it. Because when you look back, you're going to be like, man, girl, you did that. You did that. I talk to myself every morning. Every morning I talk to myself, because I want to be the best version of myself today, or better version of myself today than I was yesterday. And the last thing, and people don't like this at all, you got to be a giver.
Yeah.
You have to be a giver, man. You can't be a professional taker. Let me tell you something. When I get,
I really enjoyed Sandra this evening.
Yeah, you have to be a giver.
Taker.
You can't be a professional taker. You have to be a giver. And when your back is up against the wall, if you don't have money, give your time. Find something to do, volunteer for. And I promise you, you want to talk about unlocking miracles and blessings, give. Ask a young lady, I told her, "Oh, let me pay my time before I go online." Ask her. Listen, I meant that thing. Yeah. And the crazy part about it, Pastor, God has me doing 20% right now.
Wow, that's good.
20. And I don't get a check on the 15th and the 30th.
Right. It's God.
Yeah, that's God.
Amazing.
So that's why I know, man, this money's getting ready to be released, because He knows I need it in order to help more people.
Yes.
He knows that. He knows we need resources.
Yeah. He's
not going to ask you to do something and don't give you the wherewithal to do it.
Yes.
He wouldn't be God.
Wow.
That's it.
You have heard it all from Shandra Stringer, entrepreneur. What a great motivational time we've had on Pathway to Success. In closing, you said something which will remain with me until the day I leave the earth. Success cannot be bought. And I want to remind you, as we go offset after such an inspirational time, that success cannot be bought. All you need to do is believe in yourself, your God-given gift. And you said something also that about persons who don't believe in you, but you have to believe in yourself.
That's right.
Success cannot be bought. All you have to do, believe in your God-given gift, work hard, believe in you, and what the goals that you have, and you'll come out to be like a Shandra Stringer, rejoicing, happy, smiling, She has forget the days of the cotton fields.
Yes.
And today she's celebrated in this community. Have a great week.
Are you looking to advertise your business? Look no further. Pathways to Success is offering 3 30-second slots each Sunday of the month for $100. Please contact 561-331-1524 for all inquiries.